That's what it was. All right, you guys. Hi. I am here with you all now. I had to hit go live. It's all the little tiny steps that I'm still learning about everything. But for those of you guys who are with me here on YouTube and are just joining us, thank you so much for being here with me today. I haven't gone live in a couple of weeks, and I'm really happy to be here with you all live today. I think we're going to have a great time. I want to do a few things. There's so much heaviness going on right now, you guys. I swear, it's kind of impossible to avoid it because it's just happening literally everywhere around us. Things are getting pretty intense. So I want us to take this hour and just allow it to be full of all of the positive things that are going on in our world right now and talk about some really exciting things that just happened this past week, both in my world and in the world at large, because so often it's really easy for those exciting, fun things to be quieted when all the heavy, intense things are going on too. But I think we need to create space for this light and positivity, because it's the reason why we fight through the intense stuff is to be able to experience these beautiful, light, fun things again. And I'm seeing a couple of you come in on the chat room. I see Renee and I see Gypsy Skies Caravan, which I believe is. I'm sorry, Minder. You got Tara. Is that you got to remind me? I'll learn all of your usernames at some point. I promise. But yeah, let me know how it's coming through. If you guys can hear me clearly, if you can see everything. I think I got my settings where I want them, and we're learning along the way. So thanks for your patience. But I want to start off with a really fun thing that I just read this morning. Oh, good. Gypsy's Guys Caravan is Tara. Thank you, my dear. Thanks for being here. Appreciate having you. You guys know that song that's kind of all over social media right now. If you scroll at all through YouTube Shorts, I'm sure you hear it like every other song. It's the "You Can Buy Me Flowers, I Sit for Hours." That whole one. It's cute. It's a really cute song. That song was released in 1961. It's 64 years old. It's absolutely incredible. And I found out this morning that Connie Francis, the artist who was singing, who released that song in, I believe it was 1961. Yeah, she was a pop star in the 50s and the 60s, and she had 15 top 10 hits on the chart. And this wasn't even her like most popular song. This was, I don't think it even was one of her top tens. And she is now streaming. She's everyone is streaming her song. She is one of the most played songs in social media, put into shorts, and also I think she has tons of people listening to her on Spotify and everything. She apparently downloaded, she's still alive today, and she downloaded TikTok for just to see what everyone is posting with this sweet song that she has, and she's now making an additional money from all the success that's coming in 64 years later. I think it's just absolutely incredible that we're starting to see this trend that we're seeing, all the time, of the old coming back in, and we have, it's so cyclical of, whether it's fashion or music, or it's been a lot of music over the past few years of songs that were really popular or weren't popular during their time are coming in and being a part of a part of our culture today. And it's something that is so wonderful when the people who put that effort and love into it back then get to experience all that love for it now. And that's something that I just had to shout out how incredible that is. I think we need to, like, Connie Francis has to be wondering what the hell is going on because this is just such a big, it's just such a big thing for her. I hope that she's soaking it all up and loving it. And I wanted to talk to you guys about that real quick. But for those of you who are joining us on YouTube, and I see Pamela is here. Hi, hun. Thanks for being here. And if you guys are curious about what we have going on over at 12 Radio, I want to show you what we have at 12 Radio, because we have a lot of wonderful wisdom over there that I think is just such a, let me see if I can get it up for you guys. Hold on. We have so much great content. And there we go. Okay, cool. So yeah, if you look over here, you can see, if you go to 12radio.com, you can listen live to whoever is live streaming at that time, and we have replays of all of the week's shows going on throughout the week. You can see that I'm on right now. You can join us in our chat room. If you hit this chat button right here, you can come over to our Facebook group, and you'll be able to, if it's your first time, request to join, and I'll make sure to let you in. And then you can see all of our listeners interacting about Lori's show right here. And I have everyone redirected over to my YouTube page, but if you want to find the link, you can find it there. And then we also have we have hundreds of shows that are waiting for you to listen. So if you go to our on-demand section, you can come over here and you can look at, these are all of our different radio hosts. Let's just click on a couple of mine. You can listen to all of my previous shows here. Some of them I also have on my YouTube channel, but if you just want to download this and pop it in your ears and take a listen, you absolutely can. I have a lot of my cycle syncing content here, but you can also, if you want to learn about astrology, CA has so much incredible content in her show, and you can and she has great summary, so you know exactly what you're clicking on. So just have some fun exploring what we have going on over there, because it's something that we just have so much wisdom sitting in these hosts, and they are so kind to share their knowledge and their love of life and just be able to connect with you all that way. So go ahead and check that out if you have some time. I will be taking readings today. So if any of you are interested in a reading, I will make sure to connect with your energy and answer any questions that you have. I'm happy to pull a card or answer a specific question, or just give you a general reading. If there's a specific message that needs to come through, go ahead and leave a comment and I'll make sure to get to you. I am an intuitive advisor over at 12 Listen, so if you would like a private personal reading, you can always request to book a session if I'm not available when you're checking it out, or you can just call me if I'm online and you can connect with me right away. And so I'm there at least a few hours every day, and I'd love to connect with you there if you would like some additional guidance or clarity about what's happening in your world. I am also going to be doing a 3-card pull for you all today. I've been really loving doing this. This is maybe one of my new favorite ways to do general readings. I've always done a general reading where I just connect with everyone's energy and provide that one message, but this is such a wonderful way to be able to connect with a variety of aspects of challenges and messages that need to come through for all of you, because we all just have different worlds and different paths that we're on. And I feel like it's also a great way for you to connect with your own intuition, because with what I do with the 3-card pull, I am going to pull out 3 cards, and you'll be able to choose, do you feel pulled to the first, second, or third card? Do you feel pulled to the left, right, or center? What's calling out to you? It's a really great opportunity for you to just simply quiet your mind, center yourself, and just listen. What comes forward? Are you pulled in any certain direction? Does a number come to mind? And that way, it's a great moment for you to practice a bit of, being present, and also really make sure that this is the message that you need to be hearing today. And the question we'll ask today is, what do you need to know for the following week? Like, what is coming up in this next week that you need to pay attention to, that you need to maybe be a bit more mindful of? It can be a wide variety of things, like any heads up that you need to, like, hey, keep an eye out, this may come down the pike. Like, sometimes it can be that specific. So later on in the show, I will be doing those. And what we'll do right now is I will pull the 3 cards. We're going to use this deck over here, and I'll pull the 3 cards for you all so that you can sit with that energy and connect and take your time picking which card you feel pulled to. I'm just gonna make some space here. All right. So the first card, I will not turn it around, but this is the energy of the first card. It's card number 1, card number 2, and that's card number 3. That one just jumped right out. Card number 3. And so once I get to the individual readings, we'll turn them over and we'll throw more clarifying cards. But these are your anchor cards for your reading for today. And again, we're asking the question, what messages do we need to receive in here for the following week? So that'll be the June 16th through, or if you're listening to this at a later date, this will be for the next 7 days, for the next week that you have coming up in your life. All right. And looks like we have some more people coming in. Quelly is here. Hi, my dear. I know you're not in the Bay anymore, but you're my Bay Area girl. Thanks so much for being here. And Shell is here. Hi, hun. How are you? Thanks for joining me over on YouTube. That's fun to see you here. And Terry Campbell. Hi, Serena and 1-2 friends. Thanks for being here. Thanks, you guys. I really love it when you pop in and leave a comment because it is just so fun to see. I love being able to interact with you all, and it's so fun to see what's on your mind, what's going on. And so before we get into our reading for today, I have another piece of really cool, exciting news that I want to share with you all. Because again, if you missed the first part of the show, I was just talking about how everything is really heavy. There's so much going on right now, and so often the wonderful things that are going on in the world are put in the background. They're not brought to the forefront of the news, and I just want this to be a space where we can let the rest of it quiet down and focus on the positive things going on, because they deserve our attention. And something that I'm a big history nerd. I love diving into a little piece of history, and something really exciting in history happened this past week. We discovered a 5,000-year-old city that we had no idea was there before, and it was buried underneath the Sahara, and I believe it is located near Saudi Arabia and pretty close to Dubai, actually. And they discovered that they're assuming that it seems like they could find a lot of evidence of lakes and water and just a completely different atmosphere, basically. It's bone dry desert right now, and the fact that they were able to discover so much so quickly, it seems from what I read, it looks like they've been working on this for the past 20 years or so, and they finally found the evidence, and it was buried 10 feet under the sand, which doesn't seem that deep to me at all. But if we're still discovering cities like this, and we also discovered, there's so many discoveries that happen every week. We discovered a bunch of different species that we didn't know existed last week. There's a blob-headed fish was discovered, and a amphibious mouse was discovered in Peru. Like, we have all of these things that we're still learning about our world. And so I remember when I was a kid, I loved the idea of exploring, and I loved learning about all of the people who discovered parts of mapped out the world for the first time. And I thought that was just so adventurous and exciting. And I was so upset that the whole world had been discovered, that there was nothing left to be discovered. But look at us. We're still learning so much about our history. There's so much about our oceans we don't understand. There's so much, like, the fact that we know more about the universe than we know about our own, in our solar system, than we know about our own oceans is just so exciting to me. I feel like a lot of people can sometimes get intimidated by that, or feel nervous around it, but it's just exciting to me because there's so much waiting to be experienced and so much to be discovered within that. And it's something that I absolutely love. And the fact that we're still discovering cities that we didn't know, um, and civilizations that we didn't know existed. And we'll be able to learn so much about the culture of that time. And maybe there's some traditions that started in that area that are still practiced today that they didn't know originated there. And there's just, how incredible is it that there's still history that we are digging up, literally. It just makes me, it makes me a little bubbly. I don't know. I get really excited when I hear about that. It's encouraging. It is definitely encouraging. And I yeah, I think the fact that you wouldn't think that we're still discovering species or that we're still discovering these pieces of our history, and never assume. I guess maybe that's the point here is never assume that we have the full picture, right? Never assume that we have learned all that there is to learn, and um, it's so easy to get fully sucked into doubt or worry or assuming that everything is going to be a struggle or a challenge. And the truth of it is we don't have all of the answers yet. We don't have all of the context, and there's so much still to experience and to learn in our universe and in our day-to-day lives. And it makes me happy. But okay, you guys, I want to jump into our reading for this week. And if you guys learn about any other discoveries or anything that happened in this past week, go ahead and leave that in the comments, because I love learning about all these things that we're discovering. And it's something that, and if you like conversations like this, you need to go listen to Raven's Rabbit Hole. She's on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific time, and I think she's planning on going to YouTube soon, but she does such a great deep dive on all of these different rabbit holes, and I'm so lucky that I get to produce her because she's just so much fun. But what a wonderful conversation to be a part of if you're interested in this kind of world. But okay, go ahead and think of that number that came to mind, or that direction, left, right, or center, 1, 2, or 3. We are going to take a look at the week ahead and focus on what messages or information needs to come forward. And so we'll start with the first group with card number 1. If you felt pulled to the left side, if you were pulled to the number 1, then this card is for you. And if you're watching on YouTube, I will show. And we have the Rainmaker as our first card, and I think you can see that pretty clearly. All right. The Rainmaker is all about staying in the present. It's a beautiful message where you are, just imagine dancing in the rain. Imagine connecting with your ancestors through a very simple but ancient practice. There's so much wisdom sitting in there in the Rainmaker, and it's a beautiful message to receive. And it makes me feel like your week ahead is going to be full of really special moments is what's coming up. And so let's get some clarification cards and see what additional details will come forward here. And for those of you listening on radio, I will make sure to tell you what cards I'm pulling, since you won't be able to see. Yeah. All right. So we got the butterfly, which is all about being present in the moment. It's about appreciating the beauty, the cycles of life. If you think of a caterpillar going into a butterfly. We have focus, which is, if you look at the card, you'll see that there's one very clear path on the card with an arrow, always brings me into there's one direction that should be your main focus right now with this. So while this energy is inviting you to be so present and um, so joyous in those moments of being present, there's one specific part of your life that needs to be the focus here. And our next card answers that question, which is love. And if you look at this card, you'll see that our love card is actually a part of an old stone staircase. This image is, it always represents the history that we experience within love and that one relationship. We're also bringing in past relationships. We're bringing in our pain and our struggles, and we're also bringing in the lessons that we've learned. If you look at the stairs in this card, there's damage to these stairs. They're old stairs that are covered in leaves and dirt and dust, and you've been through. You have some history here. You've been through these experiences, and you're bringing those forward into your current love life. And whether this is that you were craving love or you are beginning to explore deeper into your love, then the focus here is experience the history there, experience the lessons that you've learned, and then there's no need to repeat them again. Love is a staircase, right? We're just building and building and building. We're progressing and growing through this love. There's no need to repeat the struggles in those moments again. And our next card is the Serpent, which talks all about healing. It's all about healing through knowledge. Here, And the serpent also always is about shedding your skin, right? It's about releasing. And so much of healing actually is tied to releasing what no longer serves us, releasing any heaviness, releasing any shame, guilt, blame, any of that, because those things don't serve us as we're moving forward, right? So if we think of the cycle that is introduced through the butterfly, right? You think of the caterpillar going into the cocoon, coming out as a butterfly. There's a cycle that happens over and over and over again. And love in that sense is also a cycle. So looking at your focus for this week and tying all of this together, there's history that you can release in order to fall fully into that rainmaker, loving life, connecting with nature, connecting with ancestry, and connecting in partnership. This feels like you're connecting with your partner or connecting with your loved ones through this experience. This is not a solitary experience. This is not a solitary week. It seems like the week ahead is very focused on community and your partners in that sense. And it doesn't feel heavy. I know when we talk about shedding the past and we talk about shedding the lessons that we've learned, it can feel so heavy. It can so easily get to be, you can get so caught up in thinking, gosh, right, that was hard, that hurt, or I wish I didn't handle that situation well. It's so easy to get sucked into that part of processing it. But remember, this is not an invitation to process the past. You've done that. You've done enough of that. This is an invitation to release it. We are shedding that snakeskin that is old and doesn't serve us, because there is a beautiful next layer of skin ready to serve us, right? That's ready to go. It's not sitting there saying, hold on, wait, I'm not ready to keep on this old skin. No, let that go. It's not serving you anymore. So I'm going to pull a few action cards for you to see what very clear actions can you take while you engage with this rainmaker energy. All right, we'll do 3. Oh. All right. Oh, I love these for this. Okay. So, first card we have here is listen to your inner wisdom. So if at any point you're sitting here wondering, gosh, but I'm not entirely sure what I need to release or anything like that. The answer to that uncertainty is, if at any point while you're listening here, um, make sure that you are giving yourself that space to let the messages come forward. Because if you're trying to overanalyze this, or um, if you're focusing so hard on, but what's that one clear answer? You're too busy, you're too loud, you're not going to hear it, right? So if at any point while I've been talking, a certain person from your past flashed into your mind, or you thought of a conversation, that's exactly what you need to be focusing on. So the invitation here of listen to the wisdom of your feelings, it's as simple as following those memories that pop up. And again, we're not processing, right? We're not processing, we're not engaging in the heaviness, we are simply releasing. Which, guys, you can't make this stuff up. Look at this next card. Give away an item is your next invitation. Give away an item. Now, I'm talking about releasing history, but this is the very physical, literal version of that. Maybe you've been holding on to that shirt or that book that person gave you. That's not serving you anymore. Maybe this isn't tied to a person at all, and there's a phase of your life that you need to release, and it's sitting in the stuff in your home. Let that go. Go and donate it. Put it up for sale. Sometimes so much of our energy can be tied in our physical space, and we need to just empty the space in that sense. And I'm not saying jump straight into minimalism, but sometimes you need to just let go of sometimes you just need to let go. Sometimes you just need to freshen up your space by taking out some of that ancient history that's sitting there. I am someone who's very attached to my books. I love my books. I have the hardest time deciding which books to keep. And at some point, I realized that I had stacks of books all over the house, as well as a fully packed bookshelf, and I hadn't touched these books in years. And they were just decoration at this point, but they weren't that nice to look at. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to only keep the books that I feel like at some point I will pick up and want to read, or want my children to read. And I donated, 3 big bags of books. And it felt so freeing. Some of those books I'd had since high school. It was so freeing, and so, our space felt so light and beautiful. And it was something that I felt ready for in the moment. And I think there would have been times when I didn't really feel that ready for it, because those books were really important to me at a different time. But it's been a few months and I don't miss them. It's a beautiful way to physically let go and release energy with it as well. And it doesn't have to be books. Maybe it's, maybe you have way too many kitchen utensils. It could be, or clothes. Sometimes we hold on to the clothes that we never will wear again because they remind us of a certain time of our life. But maybe that time of our life has been romanticized and actually holds so much energy that we need to let go of. And Tara, I see you say, I love books. It's a hard thing to release. I know. I can't believe that I let my books go. But I still have a giant shelf full of books, you guys. It was time for these ones to let go. In this process of actually sitting there and saying, should I release these? I realized I have so much wonderful memories and value and appreciation of the books that I have right here. I'm looking at them right now. That I can't wait for a quiet moment when I can pick them up and I can read them again, that I didn't feel for these other books. And so, but I, at some point, was thinking about all the books the same way, when they all had different values to me. And I was able to release so much through just letting them go. So I've been rambling on about this for a minute. Give away an item is your invitation to release some of that energy and do it through giving something away. Make a stop at Goodwill or Salvation Army or your local church or your local women's center. Like, how can you also feel productive through this and allow it to not have to take up your physical space anymore? Shall I see? Oh, what what deck am I using? Beautiful cards. I am using a couple. I've got Seeds from the Sacred Feminine Wisdom card. These are I call them my action cards. That's these ones right here, right? The give away an item. I'm also using my Wisdom of Avalon deck. That's been the deck that I've been using for about 25 years now. I love. That's where the butterfly, the focus, the love, the serpent cards are. And then I'm also using Mystic Shaman, which are our anchor cards today, which was the Rainmaker. So those are the 3 decks that I'm using today, and they're my 3 go-to. I love these guys. Okay, before card number 1, we're still working with you guys. Let's take a look at our 3rd action card, our 3rd invitation. Smile at a stranger. Okay, so if I was talking about connecting with your community, connecting with your loved ones, and you feel like you're all alone, this is the answer to that response. You are in no way alone. You are surrounded by people. And this makes me feel like you are actually going to be introduced to somebody very unique this week. And it doesn't necessarily feel like a love connection. It doesn't necessarily, but it could be great friendship. And that connection may just happen through smiling at a stranger. Maybe it will. How beautiful would that be if all you did was, because that's another thing we can give to people. We can give people that simple happiness, that simple kindness by just smiling in their direction. And it doesn't have to be creepy. It doesn't have to invite anything. It doesn't have to have anything that follows up with it. It can be such a simple act of kindness just to share whatever happiness or emotion you're feeling in that moment. So that is your invitation. So to sum up for the week ahead, for card number 1, group 1, that we're all the way to the left, you have the Rainmaker. Your invitation is to find that connection to your ancient ones, to your wisdom inside through connecting with nature, through connecting with the people around you. This feels really tied to love, and the way that you get to that experience is by releasing, right? Let go of those old ties, release what no longer serves you. And you can do this by giving away a specific item. You can do this by sitting quietly and listening to your inner wisdom that sits within your feelings. And you can do this by smiling at a stranger. There you go, you guys. So let me clean up all these cards and check in with the chat room. Tara says, my parents live with my sister and her family are moving at the end of the month. They will be releasing a lot in this move. With this, we are gaining some items and releasing some of our own too. Oh, good. Wonderful. Wonderful. I love that timing. Yeah, definitely take advantage of that opportunity, because it seems like you may also have, if you don't, yeah. If you don't mind, I just threw another card about what your experience of this will be. The Raven is all about synchronicity. It's about, quote unquote coincidence. It's about being able to recognize those moments. And it seems like there's no coincidence at all that your family is moving and releasing so much here there, and that you're feeling pulled to do so as well. This seems like there's a lot that you can release here too. And don't worry, I know you were saying you loved your books. I'm not saying you have to get rid of all your books, but maybe there's a few that somebody else would appreciate more and actually read. Not that you don't actually read them, but I feel like all of us who collect books, we read a lot less than we have, right? That's just part of it, and that's fine. And some of our spaces really welcome it and love it, and sometimes we need a little refreshing experience there. All right. Okay, you guys. Yeah, Tara says time to shift, definitely. Good. Good. I hope that that's welcome. Because it's a really kind invitation, right? This is not heavy at all. This is there's through releasing, then connect with that rainmaker energy. Experience that wonderful, dancing, powerful energy that sits there. And you can, I know you're saying at the end of the month, but you can start activating this week. If the move doesn't happen at the end of the month, start just looking around at your space differently this week, right? All right. We're moving on to card number 2. We are, this is at the center, group number 2, and you're going to be hearing a little bit of my kiddo. But card number 2 is the Gatherer. And the Gatherer, I'll just let you sit with this for a moment. The Gatherer is an invitation to it's a beautiful yeah, you didn't get enough. This card is just gorgeous. So take a look at her. She is surrounded by abundance, right? She has gathered all this abundance around her. Notice all of the fall qualities here. You have the pumpkin, you have the fall leaves. This is about the end of a cycle. Think about the way that we come to a close. We start to what happens within the season of fall, right? We start to our gardens quiet down. We have we start to harvest the last of the food that we've grown. We start to get colder. We start to get more internally reflective. So, and the Gatherer is about doing that within a sacred space. So it's all about making sure that you have safety within the inner reflection that you're starting. So let's throw a few more clarification cards here. Let me see. For card number 2. Yeah. Everybody has a lot to release this week, it seems like. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to do one more. Okay, I'm just getting all these confirmation cards here for you guys. All right, so for group number 2, your first card is the King. This is all about masculine energy. It's about structure. It's about discipline. It ties us straight to, it feels like this may have been lacking in your life. It seems like that discipline and connection to, you may have not had that much discipline around your inner processing, and maybe it feels like you kind of just let it go wild in that sense, and you need to have some focus and discipline within the way that you interact with your with that processing that you need to do. Because while our first reading today was so much about not processing and letting go, this is very much about processing. This is very much about looking inward, but not doing it willy-nilly, right? We're not doing it because this is, if we look at our next 2 cards, we have both letting go and risk. And I'm pulling these up together because it seems like their message is tied, right? If you feel like there's that risk in letting go of these things and you need to sit and process with it more, it's valid. You do need to sit and process these things more before you let them go. And that's what the Gatherer invites us to do. It's not a dark, heavy, hard process. The beautiful thing about the Gatherer is she is really telling us that we are in a safe space to process these things, and that it doesn't need to be so heavy. It doesn't need to fully suck you into that spiral, right? Because if we allow the spiral to take off, then we're not bringing in this masculine disciplined energy. And then our other 2 confirmation cards, these are just 2 of the biggest yes, go, 100%, time to move cards that we have. The mystery here is that we are on the right path, that there is only one way forward. And movement is all about trusting your emotions, because it's, you know, it's so tied to water. If you look at this card, movement you have, and then also it's so, I always find this so ironic. If you look at the movement card here, if you look at movement, that water is still. You would think that the card that's about movement would be a raging river or a crashing wave onto a shore. That water is so still. It's that you need to push this into action. The water is not moving right now. You need to take action here. So this is your confirmation that this is on you. So with this processing that you need to do, it's not rushed, right? It's not a hurried process that you need to go through, but it very much is tied to, you know, actually let's get a little bit more confirmation here, because it's clear that now is the right time and that you need to have this structure through this processing. But let me take a look at what you're processing and just get a bit more information here, because I want you guys to have some really clear actions. What are we diving into? Let's see. Okay, so romance. It does feel, and okay. So it feels like your heart, you are protecting your heart so much right now. I just got the Grail Knight, which is all about romance. It's all about love connections. It's all about romanticizing things. It's about seeking sacred connections. And it feels very tightly sacred to your heart. And we also got protection. You are protecting your heart so closely right now that it feels like you're actually not able to fully look at what happened, look at what hurt you, because it feels like you are so protective of your heart and of this other person. It feels like you're so protective of them in that sense that you know that if you start to unpack this and process through it, you're going to have some honest conversations with yourself about their actions, because there's accountability that needs to be taken here. And this, yeah, it definitely feels tied to a specific person. All right. Whew. We got some processing to do this week, you guys. There's some processing to go through. Let's take a look at your actions. Our Sacred Feminine card. Seeds of the Sacred Feminine. What are our actions for group 2? This is so tied to water, you guys. This is so tied to, yeah. Oh my goodness. I love energy. I love how tied we all are to this. Okay. Your first action card is sit by a body of water. If you are landlocked and you don't have a river or a lake or anything nearby you, fill your bathtub with water and take a bath. Like, there is so much grounding, healing, beautiful energy in water. If it's water that is out in nature, even better. But if you don't have that, take a bath. Like, this is a very clear action card. Go sit by water. If you can put your feet in the ocean, do it. If you can put your feet in the river, in the lake, do it. If you can go swimming, do it. But connect with water, because it's such a direct, like, women who are going through labor and connect with water can handle the pain. I've experienced it. It's incredible. Water is grounding. Water is healing. There is so, and I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole because I'm running out of time, and I need to get to your third card. Oh my gosh, we're really running out of time. Okay, I may go over a little bit, you guys. So yeah, sit by a body of water is your first action card. I'm not going to explain more of that. You go sit by water and see what happens, okay? Then we've got wrap yourself in a handmade quilt. Take care of yourself. Be graceful with yourself through this process. If it's getting hard and you're processing through these things and other things are coming up that you weren't expecting, take a step back. Have that discipline, right? Don't get fully sucked into it. Have the discipline, that masculine energy. Have that discipline and that structure so that you can get a bit of breathing room, get a bit of space. Don't get fully sucked into it, okay? And be kind to yourself. Be graceful with your emotions. Don't beat yourself up about this whole process, okay? And your third action card is drink water. Drink water. Again, connect with water in a way that is accessible to all of us. Drink water, sit in gratitude for that water, and just allow it to be that centering present moment. This week, as you're experiencing all of this week, because it can feel so overwhelming, any moment it feels overwhelming, go grab a glass of water, take a sip of that water, and allow that moment to recenter you. Allow it to just be that time that you quiet your mind and you come back to present and you center yourself, okay? Just let that be. Let that be. Okay. So group number 2, to sum up, you have some processing to do this week. Let's take a look back at our gatherer energy. She is absolutely peaceful in the way that she's processing these things. This is not heavy. This is not, it's almost like the things you're processing through may have been heavy at one time, but they don't need to be heavy now. Okay? They don't need to be heavy now. Have that discipline. Don't let yourself get sucked into that emotional spiral, and connect with water. And now is the time to do this. Now is 100. We got all those confirmation cards. Now is absolutely the time to do this. All right. So, group number 3. Group number 3. Wait, hold on. Let me check in on the chat before I go on to. Pamela says, this may sound weird, but I have so many overgrown pine trees that have to come down. I'm so grief-stricken about this. No. Okay. It doesn't sound weird at all. That would really bother me too. What's coming forward with that, Pamela, is allow that to, as hard as it is, there's things that you can release within this too. This doesn't have to be entirely, don't allow this to be a missed opportunity, I guess. There may be things that your space, your area, your land needs to release. Because pruning back in nature is so good for nature. Like, I'm seeing this in my tomato plants that I'm growing, right? If I'm actually allowing them to have airflow, if I'm pruning things back, they're healthier, they're happier, they're providing more fruit. So I understand that connection to not wanting to take that action, and that action can be really challenging, and I would also really struggle with that. But it really feels like now is the right time to allow this to happen. It doesn't feel like the timing really does feel good, because again, I mean, we'll see what the third card's message is, but so far for the 2 cards, it's been, yeah, you got the High Priestess. All about divine timing, about knowledge sitting here. There's the Divine Priestess holds so much wisdom and so much sacred wisdom. So there's your land, and you need to let go of some things here. So allow this to be a special moment, an opportunity where you can release. Okay? And also allow it to be hard. Don't force yourself into being happy about this. It's okay if it's hard. Okay, I hope that made sense. Group 3. This is if you connected to the number 3, the card all the way to the right. You have the lower world. All right. So the lower world is actually very tied to our base, like our base energy, our base. Here, I'll let you look at it a little longer. It's actually very tied to our material world. It's very tied to primal experiences. It's very tied to those instincts that sit very clearly with us. It seems like you may need to shift into focusing on some of those primal instincts that you have, or the base needs that you have, whether that has to do with the food that you're eating or the company you're keeping. Let's see what this is. The call to what do we need to know here? All right. Okay. Coming back in with that structure. All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we got the hawk here, which is all about omens. It's about receiving. I love that the hawk is the symbol for our omen card, because I feel like so many of us, when we have moment, it can be so easily tied to birds, like a hummingbird showing up or an owl showing up. And so it makes sense to me that omens are tied to hawks here. And it seems like you have been maybe ignoring some of these primal needs that you have, um, which when we talk about primal needs, we talk about satisfaction, and that can be everywhere from sexual satisfactions to the food that we're eating to the comfort that we have and the way that we feel satisfied by the end of the day. Like, satisfaction covers so much of our world and often isn't prioritized. And it seems like because you haven't been satisfied, you're missing some of these omens that are showing up for you. And you're not paying attention to what's coming through. And again, we have the king. Same as card 2. We have the king here, which is all about structure, all about discipline, right? It's about making sure that you are incorporating that discipline into your life. And so it seems like you may need our next card, the frog, all about releasing energy. It's about I always think of spring cleaning with the frog. I always think about when you have this new fresh energy coming through, what do you release with the new that comes in? What can you let go of with these new things that are popping in? So when you do have this this opportunity to realize that there are things that you can release in order to prioritize making sure you have satisfaction in your life, in your day-to-day, everyday life. You need to, and it's going to put you in a very powerful situation. We have the dragon here. You're going to regain your strength through this process. It feels like you may have been feeling very like beat down, or like you've been struggling in this sense. It feels like there's a heaviness here where you haven't been able to prioritize these base needs, these basic life satisfactions. You haven't been able to allow that to come to the forefront and be your priority in your day-to-day life, which is having you miss these omens. And so through processing some of the, like, it's almost like there are very clear blocks that you need to let go of in order to prioritize satisfaction. And it could be very tied to your food. It could be very tied to your home environment and how do you feel satisfied in your home. It feels like it could be very tied to your health and also to your sexual life. It feels like it really is very, all of this interacts and is the way that we experience satisfaction all commingles in that sense. Okay, so let's take a look at your action cards. And I am running out of time here. All right, let's take a look at your action cards. Yep. Okay, yeah, there you go. Okay, I'm gonna do one more. Okay, so we have laugh a big belly laugh. We can experience so much satisfaction through laughing a big belly laugh. We really can. You can experience so much. It's so grounding. It brings you right back to the present. And also, if it's a goofy laugh, if you're able to allow that to be that little reminder of satisfaction doesn't have to be this whole big task that involves spending money or it involves. It can be as simple as making sure you're laughing. That can be a huge part of satisfaction. Then we have tend to your plants. Sorry, my dog is popping in here. Tend to your plants, which is such an other clear connect. It is so satisfying to connect to nature. It is so satisfying to take care of the plants in your house, to connect to a garden. And if you don't have any plants in your house, maybe this is the invitation to go buy a plant that is going to be in your home. And that is such a, if you feel like you don't even know where to start in bringing that satisfaction into your life, then that may be your starting point, is allow yourself to experience satisfaction through taking care of a plant. And then we have ask for guidance. If you feel like you're not in a space where you're able to prioritize satisfaction, then ask for some help around it. This could be asking a partner for help. This could be asking a friend. Maybe you need to just say, hey, I need a really big change in my life. Let's go out to dinner and just have something that's going to make us be like, gosh, this is so yummy, right? Maybe it is tied to your sex life and you need to have that conversation with your partner and say, hey, I am craving this kind of satisfaction. Ask for guidance, but also what's coming to me is ask for help. Then we have feel your pulse. This is bringing us right back into this base connection, this base level of our life and our experience here is feel your pulse. Connect with your body in this sense. This really does feel like the satisfaction is so physical. And again, to tie it all in, this is all about what is lacking right now in your base experience of connecting to yourself, connecting to your satisfaction. You need to simplify and release some things around you in order to allow this to be a priority. Allow your satisfaction to come first. And you need to let go. Some other things are going to fall off of your plate. Some other things are not going to be a priority because you're choosing to allow your satisfaction to be a priority. And it is going to allow you. Remember, if you're wondering why all this matters, this is going to put you in such a strong position. You are reclaiming your power through this experience. And your actions, laugh a big belly laugh. Tend to your plants. If you have no idea how to incorporate satisfaction into your life, connect with nature. Buy a plant. May sound really simple, but trust me, it's powerful. And through this experience, you're regaining your power. You're also opening yourself back up to be able to see omens and messages that are appearing for you, that are really important for you to receive. And it's a wonderful invitation for you to be able to take advantage of. It really is. I love that this is something that you're being called to. It's a significant part of life that gets so overlooked, and it should be our priority. Satisfaction should be our priority, and it comes through food. It comes through physical contact. It comes through our physical space. So much of it is physical, right? It's our physical body. This is not our spiritual world. This is how do we satisfy our physical body, and then through that we're satisfying our spiritual side as well. Okay, I got through it. I'm gonna have to not spend so much time, or maybe we just start this earlier, because this is something I really love being able to do, and I think I may start taking a look at your week ahead every week. And I love that we didn't have tech issues today. That makes me so happy, and I am so grateful for all of you who joined me today. Thank you so much for being here, and I will be back with you all live next week. Monday, every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. You can listen either at 12radio.com or you can find me at Life Journeys with Serena on YouTube. And I'm releasing a bunch of other content that's coming out in the next week or so stay tuned. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to this channel, and please hit that notification bell, because then you'll be notified every time I release a new video or a new short, or if I'm going to go live. I may go live a little more often with you all now that my tech is all working. And so anyway, I really appreciate you all being here. Go enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week. I hope you're able to take the message that was designed for you to hear today forward with you, and that you heard a little bit of clarity and wisdom that you needed to hear today, because I love that I can share my connection to energy with you all and provide a bit of guidance that way. So thank you for being here, everyone. Have a great day, and I will see you all next time.